In chess, the Sicilian defense is one of the best ways to play with black. So, what is the Sicilian? White starts off with e4 and then black plays c5. So straight away, white is controlling d5 and black is controlling d4. Why do we play this opening? It's because it is a very aggressive, dynamic way to play with black. I enjoy playing this with black. That's why I am showing you this in this video. I'm going to show you many of the common setups for white. So first up, what happens after e4, c5? Let's say white tries to 4-move checkmate you. Bishop c4, eyeing that pawn. I'm going to suggest d6, so we get this pawn chain where all the pawns defend each other. Queen h5. White wants to win quickly. A lot of people want to play like this, but it's not that good because you just go e6 and you block it. There's no way your opponent can checkmate you in 4 moves. Let's say white gets the knight out, you get the knight out, and the good thing is it attacks the queen. The queen has to move away and you get your bishop out. Now you're ready to castle and you get your other pieces out as well. The knight can come out, you can attack the bishop. So let's say knight out, castle, castle, and we have this setup. 3 pawns in the center, knight, bishop, and black has already castled. Next setup, the St. George's Trap. So we start here, knight out, pawn out, so pawn chain again. White wants to get the center, so you attack that pawn first. Now it doesn't actually matter what white plays here, bishop out or pawn out, which is a sneaky move, because it's the same thing. Do not take this pawn, because you lose the knight. With a very nice geometric idea, queen a4 check, picking up the knight. So if you block, you drop your knight. If we go back 2 moves here, it doesn't actually matter if white plays. It's almost a nothing move h3 because you still can't take because we still have this idea losing the knight. So after this move, if we go back 2 moves here, when you attack the center and white doesn't defend it, you block. Just block the diagonal, and I suggest this move because we're going to see this in the Sicilian often. The knights defend each other. Now you can take. And it's about getting your pieces out. Pawn up, bishop out, castle. This bishop can come out. 1, 2. b6. Bishop out, and you're putting pressure already in the center. White cannot get the center easily. That's why this bishop move is very good, because you stop white getting the center all for themselves. Let's say they play rook in the middle, e6, so 1, 2, this rook can come in the game as well, this queen can come here, and once again, maybe we get the 2 pawn breaks, get space like this, or strike in the center with d5. Black has a good position. A popular setup is the c3 Sicilian, so why do people play this? Is because they want the center for themselves, so it's very similar to the previous setup. Now in this position, you can strike in the center. This is one way to play. Take, take. And the cool thing is, the knight cannot come out to attack the queen. That's why the queen is actually well placed in the center here. But I want you to go for this aggressive option, early knight out to attack the center. Now if they push, you actually put your knight in the middle. Now they go d4, so they've got this pawn chain. When d4 happens, you just trade. Take, and then normally they take back. By the way, here is a small opening trap. If they get the knight out, do not take because you lose your knight in the middle. So when that happens, you can just go e6. This is a good move. Just defend your knight, and then you can take next. So white should just take back, and now you go d6, and you're good. Get the bishop out, you can castle. This bishop can come out here or here, and then the game goes on. Next setup I want to show you is if white goes knight c3. And I suggest you get your knight out to control the d4 square. Let's say white goes f4, so gaining a lot of control in the center. After g6, the point of this setup is you're going to put the bishop on g7, and then it's all about fighting control for that square. This is called the Grand Prix attack. White gets the knight out, you get the bishop out. Now you've got bishop, pawn and knight on that square. Bishop out, just like before, attacking f7, but I suggest you just block it. And in a couple of moves, you're going to block this bishop. If knight b5, coming into d6, not to worry. You just go d6 yourself, and you can kick this knight away. If we go back 2 moves, let's say white just castles. Now you go knight e7. With this move, black has a great position. You're going to castle, you can go d5, and just like before, we can go a6, b5. Now this is one opening trap just to be aware of. White might play queen e1, getting the queen out, but also facing the king. Now you cannot go d5 here. You should castle. The reason this is a bad move is because you can take. And after take, you take with the knight. And now you cannot take back due to the queen attacking the king. So in this position, just going back 2 moves, it's good to castle. And now let's discuss the plans. You can strike in the center. You can go a6, b5, just like we saw before, getting space on the queen side. Let's attack the bishop retreats, and here's actually another cool idea. Knight a5, knight to the edge, because then you can actually get rid of that dangerous bishop. And we got a few ways to get this bishop out. You can go b6, bishop b7, this rook can come in the game. Black has a really good position. Next setup I want to talk about is if white just plays normal moves, gets the knight out and gets the bishop out. So white is not trying to full move checkmate, but he's just playing very sensible moves. Now the bishop attacks this pawn, so you attack this pawn. If your opponent tries this, the knight and the bishop attacking this, it doesn't matter, you just go e6. This is the move that's going to solve a lot of your problems. And later you're just going to kick this knight away. This is not a good way to play with white. So going back 2 moves, after the knight attacks the pawn, white might defend it, so white has a pawn chain, just like black. Both sides have a good pawn chain in the middle. e6. This is the move I'm going to suggest often. With 2 pawns here, you're controlling all these squares. Castle, bishop out. Let's say white gets the rook in the middle and castle, and here we go again. The same kind of moves like I suggested before. We're going to go a6, b5, get space. d5, you can time it to attack the bishop, and this bishop can come out to b7, the knight can come to d7. So if we played on a few more moves, maybe the knight comes here, maybe the bishop comes out somewhere, maybe here. Let's just get space, and then here. Next move, knight here. It's really nice in the Sicilian when you got 2 knights like this defending each other. The 2 bishops are well placed, and we have good central control. These 2 pawns controlling lots of squares, this one controlling d4 as well. Another setup we can look at is the King's Indian attack. So white goes d3, knight out, pawn up, and white does the same, the King's Indian attack. Bishop's out, d6, so we get a pawn chain just like white. Very sensible way to play. White can castle, knight f6, and here we go. Black is going to castle next. You're going to play the same moves as before, a6, b5, get space on that side of the board. The rook can come here, the bishop has got a few choices. Maybe the bishop can come here or here to pin the knight to the queen. Next popular setup, knight out, d6 once again, and bishop b5 check. Not to worry, you can block with the knight. That's what I'm suggesting in this video. Now if they take, you just take back with the pawn. And after, let's say they castle, you go e5. And here we go again. Knight out, bishop out, castle, and we're good. This bishop can go somewhere. Maybe it can go here, maybe it can go here, or here. If we go back a few moves, maybe they don't take. Maybe they castle, but it just gives yourself a chance to defend the bishop. Defend with the bishop, I mean. You get your pawn chain, and then here we go again. Knight out, pawn up, bishop out, castle, and we're good. What if white goes after d4? Now they take with the queen. I want you to attack the queen this time. Now they can move the queen and then we just get our pieces out. But what if they pin? Just break the pin with bishop d7. They can move the queen back somewhere, but if they take, you take back with the bishop. And the bishop is very well placed here. Let's say they get their knight out. Here we go again. I'm staying consistent throughout all these Sicilian lines. 2 pawns in the middle like this. Very useful. You control all these squares. Bishop comes out. Now you get the knight out. And here we go again. Bishop out. Castle. a6, b5. Get your pawns rolling. Rook here. and we're good. This is going to be one of the most popular setups you face, but it's such a large variation, I am unable to cover it in this video, but I will go for the main setup I'm going to discuss later. So we have the Sicilian. Let's say they get their knight out and they go d4, so they open it up, they offer a capture, you take, and they take back with the knight. You get the knight out, just like we've done in previous lines. They get the knight out to defend it, and now we can go a6, controlling this square. This is called the Sicilian Najdorf, a very popular way to play. We'll just go through one setup. If they get their bishop out ready to castle, here we go again. I just want you to play 2 pawns in the middle, because we control all these squares. You're going to get the bishop out, and you're going to castle. And when this happens, this pawn is very useful, because just like we've seen before, you're going to go b5, and then the bishop out. So let's just play a few more moves. Bishop out. Let's say they get their bishop out. Castle. f4, queen d2. You can put the queen there first as well, and here we go again. Up. Pawn up, a6, b5, bishop out. If they go f4, and this is a nice way to play, which I mentioned before, the 2 knights defend each other. Bishops can go here, and then the rook can come here as well. And then, well, if black gets a pawn there, you can push, you can attack the knight. The open Sicilian is going to be one of the most popular setups you will face, but I cannot cover all of it in this video. That's why I saved it for the end. I hope that you've learned a lot in this Sicilian video. Go on a chess website, play the Sicilian, see what happens, let me know how you get on. Post some games in the comments below. I would love to check them out, and if there are lots of games in the Sicilian by the viewers, then what I could do is put them all into a video and then analyze those games and then give you guys feedback. The Sicilian defense is not the only openings video I've done. I've also looked at the Caro-Kann, the Queen's Gambit, the London. So if you play games in those openings, you can paste them below here, or you can go back to those opening videos and paste the links there. I will read all the comments and I'll see what I can do. It's good to build a community by analyzing the viewers' games. By the way, here are the opening videos I was talking about. We got the Caro-Kann defense over here, and we got the London system over here. If you don't want to play any of those, you might want to go for the Queen's Gambit. Thanks for watching.